missed it. I only had $8. And those of you who've been really hungry at only $8 know you can't mess up that $8. You can't make it up. You can't mess it up. Now, at the time, the only thing I wanted was some Panera Bread soup. That was it. I only wanted Panera Bread soup. I was in New York City again. I was driving this time. So I said, okay, I pull over. I go on DoorDash. I'm a Dash Pass member. I go on DoorDash. I type in Panera Bread. First one pops up. It's like 0.3 miles away. I said, perfect. I just wanted some tomato soup. That was it. I just wanted some tomato soup. That was it. So I order it. I get my little croutons with it. You can't do the soup without the croutons, right? I said ASAP, all this. It said, boom, it'll be ready in 8 minutes. I said, 8 minutes, $8. I'm feeling good, right? They said it's, again, whatever miles it was, like 0.3 miles. So I said, okay. So I drive. I get to my destination. And I said, where is it? I didn't see a Panera Bread at all. And then I started thinking to myself, I've never seen a Panera Bread in Manhattan. So it's like, what did I just do? Just order to somebody's house? Like, what happened? I was shook. I'm looking around. I don't see Panera Bread. I don't. What did I see? Bellevue Hospital. Big castle-looking building. It was Bellevue Hospital. That's what I saw. And my phone is just like, it's in here. And I'm like, I'm looking up. I'm looking down at my phone. I'm looking up. I'm looking down. I said, ain't no way. I said, ain't no way it's in there. There is no way it's in there. Is it? Googled it. Come to find out, there is a Panera Bread in Bellevue Hospital. And little did I know, why are they taking DoorDash orders? Not every restaurant needs to be on DoorDash. Why are they doing it? I was like, what? But what did I say? The future is determined by whoever wants it the most. And I really wanted this tomato soup. And I only had $8. So it was tomato soup from here or tomato soup nowhere. I couldn't cancel the order. They already made it. I know people are going to be like, why did you just cancel it? Couldn't cancel it. They already made it. It was waiting for me to go get it. But it isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Yes, it's in a hospital. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, it's probably in the vestibule. It's probably like you walk in and it's probably right there. Just right there. You don't even have to check in with anybody. Just boom, Panera. For the waiting area. That's what I thought. So I walk in. And I don't see it. I'm looking. It's a big open space in the lobby. I just don't see it. I'm looking around. I'm like, all right, it's not here. It's not anywhere. I said, okay. I'm like, all right. So let me ask somebody. I go up to, there's a security guard right up front, right next to where you check in. I said, hey, sir. Now, you don't just walk in to a hospital and act like you're at Wendy's. You can't do that. No, you have to make it clear that you're here to see somebody. I'm here to see somebody. I started lying through my teeth. I said, hey, man. I said, one of the patients here told me that they're really in the mood for Panera Bread, and I know it's in this building. Can you let me know where that is? And he was very nice security guard. I just didn't like the answer he had for me. He was like, yeah, the Panera Bread, it's past the ICU. I said, you got to be kidding me. I got to walk through the intensive care unit. I got to walk past people who are fighting for their lives, doctors who are stressed in the middle of a procedure, just so I can eat, just so I can get my soup for my $8. That was it. It was $0 now. I already spent the $8. I was shook. But I had to keep my cool. I couldn't let them know. It was a very covert op. It was a covert operation. I couldn't let them know that I wasn't really, getting it for somebody. I said, oh, okay. I said, the patient's going to be glad to hear that. I was like, all right. I was like, so if I need to go pick it up, can I just go? He's like, well, I got to see your ID. I had to check in. So I'm giving him my ID. I feel like the DMV. You ever go to the DMV just for food? That's what I was doing. So I gave him my ID and everything. He gave me a badge. I took a picture. I did one of these. It was crazy. I did one of these. It was bad because I was so hungry. Oh my gosh. And then he asked me the question I wasn't ready for. He was just like, so who are you here to visit? Now I'm lost. I said, I don't have anybody. So I made up a name in the moment. This is all of what I'm doing just so I could get some soup. I made up a name in the moment. You got to go with something generic, like Carl Johnson. I did Derek Stevenson. That's what I said. I said, yeah. I said, is a Derek Stevenson here? And like, I clenched because I was scared. I was like, I don't want to. In retrospect, I could have just told the cop that I wasn't there to see anybody. I was just hungry. I made a mistake. But like, you ever like start a lie and then like the lie gets worse the more, the deeper you get into it. I was deep into this lie. I couldn't back off because he already knows. I said, Derek Stevenson, and he could not find a Derek Stevenson. Now I gotta play it up. I said, look, yo, Derek is my good friend. I said, Derek is my good friend. He came in, he was having really bad headaches. I was like, you just gotta let me in, man. He was like, all right, fine. For Derek. And I said, for Derek. I said, for Derek. Oh my God. If there's a Derek Stevenson out there, just know I got that soup. I did get that soup for you. But now I'm walking. I've fucking just lied my ass off. I got a tag on my chest of me doing one of these. And I'm walking through. And I'm like, am I really doing this right now? Like, this is all for a soup. But now I got to find the ICU. I don't know hospitals. And I don't even watch Grey's Anatomy. I don't know anything. So I'm walking and I'm just kind of peeking around corners. And it's like, at first, you don't look out of place. But the longer you look lost, the more out of place you look. Eventually, a guy in scrubs comes up to me. And he was just like, he was like, are you good? He was like, he was concerned. Like, I was like a patient. I was like, are you okay? I was like, I'm a little hungry, but I said, I'm looking for the Panera Bread. I hear it's through the ICU. Can you point me where that is? He was like, yes. He goes, you're on the west wing. You had to go all the way over to the east wing to where you'll find the ICU. That's by where the ambulances enter in. And then you got to dart past the whole hall. I said, you got to be kidding me. I said, now it's a pirate treasure map. Like, he's giving me like a pirate quest to go find like treasure. I'm like, this is insane. So I said, I got to walk all the way to the east wing. He was like, yeah. The east wing was like 3 miles away, but I get trekking. Still hungry. Still hungry. I walk like 3 miles to the east wing. Now I'm exhausted. And you know, when you get hungry and you get tired, and then it's like, I felt like I was hallucinating a little bit. I was just like, everything started looking like Panera Bread. It was bad. I didn't know what was going on at this point. But again, I was dedicated. I really wanted this soup. I didn't know. I get to the east wing eventually, and then I do see the entrance to the ICU. So then I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right. I begin to walk in, but now, please understand, when you walk, the ICU is a very serious place. It's very serious. You can't run through. If you run through, they're going to think something's wrong with you. Can't do that. There's no running. You have to be courteous to the people who are there going through arguably one of the worst moments in their lives. And I'm here to tell you guys today, I was none of that. I walked in and I just immediately started sniffing for food because I said, I know the Panera somewhere. I know it is. I swear I know it is. And I'm like, not running, but I'm like walking fast. I'm like looking around. I'm like, excuse me, I'm just going through the ICU. Like, you know, they were just like, somebody did end up going, sir. He was just like, he had heard me saying to somebody, I'm just going to the Panera Bread. He was like, it's right over there. There was a whole cafeteria area. I get to the cafeteria, I go, and I finally find this Panera Bread. After walking in on patients through the ICU, right? After seeing people, witnessing people at their worst, after the security guard, after the Derek Stevenson, after everything, I get there, I pick up the bag, and the soup is cold. Now I'm mad. Because not only is my soup cold, it was supposed to be ready at like 11:03 or whatever time it was. Maybe not 11, maybe like 9:03, whatever it was. And now it's like 9:45. And I just got there. I said, you've got to be kidding me. This is insane. So I said, you know what? I take it. This time I'm sprinting. I sprint through the ICU. The best part about sprinting through the ICU was actually a patient came up to me and was like, hey, he was like, do you know where Dr. Such and Such is? Like, somebody had asked me for directions because clearly I look like I know what's happening out here. And I kind of like just pointed in the direction. I'm like, yeah, they're right over there. He's like, okay, thank you. I was still trying to be helpful, even though I wasn't. I get back to the ICU. I get back to the West Wing. I'm just bolting for the door. And then the security guard looks at me. He goes, Derek Stevenson, huh? I was like, yeah. I was like, Derek. Yeah, Derek's my guy. And you just put your head down and walk out. So immediately what I did, I put my head down and I just walked out. I get back to my car, and I'm not going to lie to the whoever's listening to this pod right now, this episode, it was by far the best Panera Bread soup I've ever had in my life. That Panera Bread soup was so good. I actually started ordering to that Panera Bread from now on whenever I'm in the city. Fantastic. I left a 5 out of 5 star review. It was crazy, but because I wanted it, I made it happen.